Okay, we're gonna get on to one of my other all-time favorite martial arts movies now. These are all my all-time favorite martial arts movies. A Yeun film, or Yeun, depending on, what region you're coming from. Righting Wrongs. Co-starring Cynthia Rothrock. Again, another typical Hong Kong police martial arts movie. Directed again by Yeun, one of my favorite, probably my favorite all-time Hong Kong martial arts movie directors and choreographers. Righting Wrongs, man, this film had two different endings, right? You had a happy ending and a kind of morbid sort of ending. Actually, both the endings are sort of morbid. One's a little bit more morbid than the other. This movie, when I first saw this got me into Hong Kong action films. This opened up the door for me, where I just started getting into the scene and just, tracking down Jackie Chan films, other Yeoh films, other Cynthia Rothrock films. Man, this was highly influential for me, highly influential. The Chinese martial arts that happen in this film, it's just the action, everything about this film, I just love it. One of my all-time favorites, really. The Master with Jet Li. Now, I was never a big Jet Li fan, especially in the 90s when he really hit it big. The Master is probably not seen as one of his best films, but to me, again, this movie, when I saw it on TV, SBS, we've got a channel here in Australia, SBS. They'll play foreign movies, and in the 90s they were playing a lot of martial arts, Jackie Chan films, Jet Li films, things like that, Bruce Lee films. And I think Jet Li, The Master, was the first film that I'd seen with Jet Li in it. And he's the villain in the film, Jerry the Golden Boy Trimble. Jerry Trimble was, he's a big inspirational speaker now. He goes and he talks to schools, he gets people on the straight and narrow. He's a real good guy. At one point in time, he was Glenn Hughes. He was a personal bodyguard of Glenn Hughes from Deep Purple. Glenn Hughes, one of my all-time favorite musos, right? The choreography in this film, awesome choreography. It's a cheesy film, yeah, fine. Maybe people didn't like it all that much, but it is one of my all-time favorite Jet Li movies. Love it. The Raid. Alright, here we go. Indonesia, alright? It's the first Indonesian movie I probably saw. First movie that I've seen with Iko Uwais. Again, some great movies coming from that gentleman. Oh man, The Raid. Dark choreography, silat, pencak silat. This is the first time in a movie I've got to see beautiful silat in a movie. Indonesian martial arts, in case you don't know what I'm talking about. This movie's dark, it's got gore, it's a thriller. It's got so many elements to this film, so many winning elements. This is a movie that you have to check out. If you love martial arts, if you love thrillers, if you love action, this movie. There was another movie at the time, Dread, with Carl Urban. Also a good movie, but very American, and it's the same sort of plot. They get stuck in this building and have to fight their way out. But yeah, obviously Iko Uwais does it better. The Raid does it so much better. Dread's also a good film. Don't devalue Dread. But yeah, man, The Raid. Check that film out. Okay, here we go. I'm talking about all these my all-time favorite martial arts movies. That have inspired me and all things like that. I haven't talked about Jackie Chan yet. Where's Jackie Chan? Here he is. Bang. Wheels on Meals. Now, it's probably not one that people would expect. People probably expect Drunken Master or Police Story. Good film as well. No, man, for me, Wheels on Meals. This was the standout Jackie Chan film for me. When I first saw it, because I knew there was a fight between Jackie. and Benny the Jet Urquidez, big champion kickboxer. One of the all-time great kickboxers. You gotta check out some of his fights. They are pure art. The movie, Wheels on Meals. They also starring Biao, who was also one of my favorite martial arts actors at that point in time. Bloody hell, who am I forgetting? Sammo Hung, right? Sammo Hung as well. So this movie, you had the three dragons of Hong Kong. You had Jackie Chan, Yuen Biao, and Sammo Hung. Sammo Hung combo, right? Now, Sammo Hung has always been one of my all-time favorite martial arts movie stars because he's not your generic martial arts movie star, right? Physically, he's not like everybody else, but man, he was kicking it with the best of them. He's one of the big boys. Who else was in this? Keith Vitali from No Retreat, No Surrender 3, Revenge of the Ninja. Keith Vitali has always been a beautiful on-screen fighter. And again, he's a champion for a karate fighter in real life, and teacher and sensei. But when he fought on screen, when I saw fights with him, his fight scenes are a delight to watch. Much like Benny the Jet Urquidez as well, who's also in this. So that's why this was such a winning combination for me. Yeah, the 3 stars, 2 bad guys. Oh, so good. Great film, great fights. A lot of comedy in it as well. Probably not as much fighting as people would have liked. Probably a little bit too much comedy. I remember taking this, I was going out with a Chinese girl at the time, and I was telling her about how I was into these films. I only had a Cantonese version of this movie, right, with subtitles. So I didn't realize that she only spoke Mandarin. She couldn't speak Cantonese. I took this around to her place. We were watching it. We had a laugh, and she enjoyed the film. At least I think she enjoyed the film. She was not a nice person. She turned out to not be such a nice person in the end, anyway. But I remember just taking this film around. Yeah, it's in Chinese. Yeah, it's in Cantonese. It's not in Mandarin. So she had to read the subtitles with me. Ironic. Accident Man with Scott Adkins. Now, Scott Adkins is one of the biggest names in martial arts movies of this time, right now. This was the first proper Scott Adkins movie that I'd seen, and it's based on a comic book. This movie, it's set up, the fights that are set up, it's an absolute joy to watch. One of probably my favourite Scott Adkins movie. Part 2's coming out soon as well, so I can't wait for that. He's like an assassin, but that has to go good. It's got some beautiful fights in it, very Hong Kong inspired. Alright, let's get into ninja films. Now, ninja films. As a kid, you loved ninja films. We loved ninja films. If you're a martial arts movie fan, you loved ninja films in the 80s. And my favourite all-time ninja film has to be... It's a toss-up between Revenge of the Ninja with Shokosugi and Michael Dudikoff in American Ninja 2. Now, I have to say American Ninja 2 wins out on that because I was in grade 4 in school at the time, primary school, and I watched this movie a billion times, right? The fight scenes are probably not the best fight scenes, but for a ninja film... It was great. The soundtrack by George S. Clinton, who did the soundtrack to Mortal Kombat in '95, it's great. It's great. If you want to watch a cheesy 1980s style ninja film, because I think it's about 91, 92, so it's not an 80s film, and American Ninja 2 was the ninja flick that you had to check out back in the day. And I can still have fun watching this. It's a trip down memory lane for me. Now, dramatic martial arts movies, you cannot go past Best of the Best, starring Philip Ree and... I remember his name. Eric Roberts. And a stellar cast. A very dramatic, great cast for a martial arts movie. James Earl Jones as the Coach Kuzo. Man, this movie, inspirational. It's more of a drama film than a martial arts film. It's a drama movie with martial arts in it. This movie is one of the best sports martial arts films of all time.